I love taking 4-star support characters and trying to convert them into my main damage dealer, and Kirara is no exception, but there was a problem. I have actually been asked to make a DPS Kirara video multiple times, but I didn't really know what I was going to do for the team. Trying to hit big PP damage on a dendro character has always been kinda awkward for me. You aren't able to swirl dendro, which means that I can't use a 4-piece Viridescent artifact set like I normally do. You also usually want to enhance your dendro damage with the spread reaction, which means that you will need to get a quicken aura on the enemy before you go in with your big dendro hit. But characters that are usually used for damage showcases like Bennett or Farina can throw off those elemental reactions that you are going for. So what do you do for DPS Kirara? You ignore everyone asking for it, that's what you do. But I thought to myself, today is the day that I finally pick up my sack and build DPS Kirara. What's up? My name is Tayuji, and today we are going to be building DPS Kirara. I actually got asked to do this a while ago, and I've been kind of putting it off because I didn't fully know what I was going to do yet. But now I've thought about it, I have a general idea of what I'm going to do. I don't really know if it's going to work because Kirara isn't meant to be a DPS character. She is actually a support character. She is a very good shielder. I know that she is very good at what she's supposed to do, but can she do a lot of damage? And we are going to find that out today. But first, we have to take Kirara up to level 90. And boom. 90 out of 90 Kirara. Now, the question is, what are we going to use as a weapon on DPS Kirara? Now, my go-to weapon usually for DPS characters is Mist Splitter. And I'm going to be real, I think that is still the call here. Mist Splitter is just a pretty good general option because you gain a 12% elemental damage bonus for all elements. And then at max stacks, you gain an extra 28% elemental damage bonus for the character's elemental type. But unfortunately, with Kirara, we're only going to be able to get 2 stacks. So we're only going to get the 16% elemental damage bonus because we don't have any way to give ourselves elemental infusion on a normal attack. But it's still a very good overall weapon. High base attack. We got crit damage on there. Very good weapon. We're going to go ahead and throw Mist Splitter Reforged onto Kirara. And now for artifacts. Yeah, normally you would want Tenacity of Millilith, or you just want to throw a lot of HP on her so that you can make her shield as strong as possible. But today we are turning her into a burst nuke DPS. So 2-piece Deepwood might not be bad. Do we just go Marashose? But my Marashose set isn't that great. Honestly, my artifacts in general aren't that great. Hoyoverse, please fix this problem. They're specifically targeting my account, so I never get any good artifacts. They're trying to keep me down. So I think I'm just going to go with a 2-piece artifact set so that I can just get as good as stats as I can on my artifact set. So I'm going to go 2-piece Deepwood for the dendro damage bonus and then a 2-piece attack percent. I'm just going to see which ones I have the best stats for. Holy crap, I did not know that I have this goblet. Man, I hope that this rolls well. I really hope this rolls well. Come on. We need this for Kirara. No. It's a 4-liner. It's okay. It's a 4-liner. So that means it's basically like just getting... Okay, so we are able to get 70 crit rate over 173 crit damage, which I mean is pretty good for my artifact specifically. My Deepwood pieces are not good at all. These are the 2 Deepwood pieces that I have. Man, it is horrendous. It is an absolute disaster. Man, what if I reshape this though and then it all goes into crit? I mean, screw it. Let's try it. Let's try it. For the video, we'll try it. That's crazy. That's the exact... That's the same thing. We only got 1 extra roll into crit rate. I mean, it is better technically. So, I mean, yeah, we'll keep the result, I guess. But man, that was unfortunate. Okay, so now we have 73 over 173 crit damage. Okay, now for talents. I have played Kirara in the past. I was just using her as a shield support though. So that is why my elemental skill is at level 7. But the main thing that we're going to be doing is we are going to be using Kirara's elemental skill, which actually just looking at it from level 4, that skill damage already being at 712% is pretty crazy. We actually might be able to get a pretty strong hit off of her elemental burst. So let's go ahead and take her elemental burst up as high as we can go. Dang, we're actually really close to being able to take it up to level 10. And dude, 1,000? 1,026 skill damage? Okay, wait, hold up. We might need to farm for this. First, we'll take this up to level 8. And now we are about to go and farm some of her talent materials because that's kind of crazy. I think that we need to crown Kirara's elemental burst. Now, the team that I was thinking of for Kirara uses Farina because Farina just does damage percent. So that's obviously pretty good for most characters. And then Yansan for her buff as well. And we do move around a decent amount. I'm not sure if we're going to have full uptime on Yansan's Elemental Burst. The main issue is I don't know if we'll apply enough Electro that we will be able to consistently spread, but we'll see. I'm just going to test it out real quick, and we're just going to see what happens, and then I'll change the team accordingly if I need to. All right. And then what are we doing? 3Ks? And then what do we do when we hit? 15? Okay. Now we do this. Wait, hold up. Yo, 100k on the Elemental Burst is pretty good, and we haven't even hit our final form yet. Let's go ahead and craft the materials that we need to take her Elemental Burst up to level 10. There it is. Crowned Kirara's Elemental Burst. 1026.4% damage. Now I'm going to keep it a stack. I don't think that this is how you should build Kirara. I don't think you should delve down this path unless you just really like the character and this is what you want to do. Like, have fun with it. I'm gonna say right now, I don't think this is very meta. Like, I am hyping this up because this is a big multiplier, right? 1026.4%. Like, even Child, the best character in the entire goddamn game, like, his multiplier is still only 835%. But Child can still do more damage than Kirara. Like, but I think that she has potential to be, like, pretty good for what she is. Taking a support character, turning them to a DPS is not always easy, but I think that with Kirara, it's going to be easier to turn her into a damage dealer than, like, most other support characters. So now that we have our Kirara's Burst crowned, we gotta go over to Simon. Come here, Simon. Okay, let's try this out. We aren't gonna get any healing for any fanfare stacks for Farina or anything like that. The only thing that we're gonna get is on the descent where everybody's HP is falling. We'll get some stacks there. I don't know. I'm just gonna see how this goes. So I'm just testing. We're testing it right now, okay? All right, and then a little bit of this. Boom. 108k. I still think that Electro wasn't applied there, though. I think that it fell off. Let me try this instead. I'm just going to take Farina out of the equation so that I can guaranteed have Electro application. Even though it sucks taking Farina out, I'm going to lose a lot of damage. Being able to spread Aggravate is going to be way better. Like, at least being able to spread consistently is going to feel way better than, you know, the alternative, which is continuously missing spread hits. So let's try this out instead. Oops. And then here. Bop, 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 bop. Oh my god, we're in like 20Ks. 40K? Alrighty. Let's see if we can get this right. Also, we need to crit. This is going to be so sad if we don't crit. Alright. We're going to go here. And then we need to clear this burning. Alright. Hopefully this hits. 252k. So it's actually very unfortunate, but it turns out that unless you have C1 Farina and C2 Nahida, it's actually kind of hard to do a big hit with Kirara. Because of those things that I mentioned during the intro of the video, like not being able to swirl dendro, having to first do a quicken reaction before you can get a spread reaction. If you try to use characters like Bennett to buff your attack, that could make it so you might not get a spread reaction. So you have to do weird things to clear the Pyro Aura first if you want to use him. And the same thing goes with Farina. That's why it's really awkward to use C0 Farina, because to actually build fanfare stacks, you want to keep the damaging elemental skill up, but that also means that she's constantly applying Hydro, which again can throw off your elemental reactions. C2 Nahida also really helps, because if you have it, then you are able to shred 30% of the opponent's defense just by activating the Quicken, Aggravate, or Spread elemental reactions. And Defense Shred is way better than Elemental Resistance Shred because there is so much less of it in the game. So basically what I'm trying to say is, for my account specifically, this is the best that I could come up with, unfortunately. I will also admit, I might just suck at the game, but that just seems so unlikely because I am such a god gamer. But even with all of that nonsense, I still wanted to take Kirara through the Spiral Abyss to see if I could get 36 stars with her. It's just that it took me over a month to finally get around to doing it. Anyways, here's me a month and a half later. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, it has been a hot minute since I recorded this first section of the DPS Kirara video. Man, but there's just been a lot of stuff coming out in Genshin Impact. There's other videos that I was trying to make. So I recorded that section and I was planning on doing a DPS Kirara like Spiral Abyss section section of this video. But Hoyoverse is really trying to make the Spiral Abyss as difficult as possible to clear with off-meta teams. I don't really know what's going on over there, but I don't think that the Spiral Abyss is going to get any easier anytime soon. So I wanted to complete this video still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use a character that you really want to use, is basically make the character work. This is actually one of my favorite things to do. I really like using Kaya, so I just try to make a team for him. Like, no matter what the content is, I always try to make something work. Kaya isn't a particularly strong unit, so I just try and make him work however I can. Optimally, I want him to be doing like the one doing the most damage. That doesn't always happen. Just like this, Kirara, we want DPS Kirara to be a thing. And in a sense, that's gonna still kind of be true. But in this current Spiral Abyss, if we take a look at it, you kind of have to take a look at the endgame content that Genshin is giving you and be like, okay, what do they want from me? In the first half, they obviously want a Bloom team, specifically a Lunar Bloom team. But as long as you're just using Bloom, then you still get a 200% Bloom damage increase. So now we know if we want to use Kirara in the Spiral Abyss, we can still do that. We just have to use a Bloom team probably. So because also I rolled Nilou, and Nilou is now becoming one of my favorite characters in the game, we could use a Nilou Bloom team. What characters go great on a Nilou Bloom team? Nahida, obviously. Nahida goes very well. If you have Lauma, Lauma would be an excellent pick. I unfortunately do not have Lauma, but then we also obviously have to use Kirara, so then Kirara is going to go on the team. I could use Kokomi, but I don't want to use another 5-star character on the team. We're already using 2 5-stars. So for the last slot, we will actually be using Barbara. So what we're going to end up doing with Barbara is we are going to be putting her on Sacrificial Fragments, because this will end up letting her reset her elemental skill so that her Hydro Aura like ring is always available. And then we're going to throw Barbara on Flower of Paradise Lost. And then for Kirara, we have her 712 elemental mastery. We have her on Freedom Sworn, and then we have her on a 4-piece instructor set. You could also use Iron Sting, or if you have this event weapon, like, do I have an Iron Sting leveled up on this account? Okay, yeah, I don't think that I do, but you could use Iron Sting as well, or if you have this weapon, it was an event weapon from a Halloween event a while ago. If you happen to have this thing, it's basically the same thing as Iron Sting, but I'm using Freedom Sworn because I don't have an Iron Sting on this account. So we are about to go through the Spiral Abyss with Bloom Kirara. This is what I mean, where it's like, if you want to use a character, you can make it work. Like, you'll probably have to have some characters, maybe drag them across the finish line, like Nilou, Nahida. But if you want to use Kirara, I'm telling you, we can make it happen. This is kind of what I'm talking about, because there's a lot of people that have been messaging me recently, like, hey, could you help me with my account? What teams should I build? And a lot of times I'll ask them to send me a screenshot of the characters that they have, and then I'll ask them, what characters are you trying to build? And very often they won't tell me what characters they want to build, which I think is kind of weird, but then they'll just say, like, just give me a team and then I'll build it. But the thing is, on newer Genshin Impact accounts, you will oftentimes not have an actual team. You're gonna have to just make something work. And I'm sitting here like, I don't want to just tell you to build some characters if you don't want to play those characters. But hey, if it's something like this, like you really like Kirara, you want to make her work, it doesn't really matter how you use her, you just want her on the team. Look at this. I'm going to show you. We can make this work. And I don't have either of the shill characters on this account. I don't have Lauma. I don't have Flynn's. So we're just going to make this work regardless. And this is the idea. Look at this. Check this out. This is the idea behind Bloom Kirara. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is how we do it. And as you can see, this is the sweatiest Bloom team you've ever seen in your life, right? You're like, oh my goodness. How is this team working out so well? It's because of Barbara. Honestly, Barbara and Kirara hard carrying the team right now. And then, yeah, we are eating through our time right now. Okay, so that was kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? But we can make it work still, I'm telling you. See, what did I say? You can still get 3 stars right there. Man, this team would work a little bit better if there was just more enemies, like, in the Abyss. If it wasn't just, like, a single enemy. Because the way that Barbara's elemental skill works, it actually applies, like, it ends up making more Bloom cores the more enemies are on screen. Funny thing that happened, actually, before Nilou came out, they actually had to nerf Barbara because the way that her elemental skill worked before, it produced an insane amount of blooms, actually. Like, you could actually, like, make more blooms than Nilou could. And you could actually end up doing more damage because there's like a glitch where... So I actually ended up explaining this very poorly, probably because I was in the middle of a Spiral Abyss run. But basically what I was trying to say was that Barbara's elemental skill actually functions with standard ICD or internal cooldown, which means that her Hydro Ring will apply Hydro once every 2.5 seconds or once every 3 hits. That's why I said that I wish there were more enemies in this Spiral Abyss, because if there are 3 enemies in Barbara's ring, then you can actually make a good amount of Bloom Cores. But there used to be a glitch where a Bloom Core touching Barbara's elemental skill would count as a hit, so once you start producing some Bloom Cores, you could see how this could very easily start getting out of hand. This glitch was actually left alone right up until Nilou was about to get released. Then Hoyoverse noticed that this might be a problem because with this glitch, Barbara could outdamage Nilou, so they fixed it right before she came out. Oh yeah, we still get there. We still get there with Bloom Kirara. All right, now this is going to be the weird one. Okay, so we want to apply Hydro here, and then we lift up. We drop this Bloom. Oh, but it's Nilou Bloom. Like, I don't need to do that. I'm so dumb. Because I'm not used to playing on my main account. I've been playing on so many other people's accounts. But I forgot. We're using Nilou Bloom, so we don't need to do that. Instead, I can just wait for these things to drop, tag all of them, and then walk around. And it's like, wow, okay, we've already did it. We've done it. And then this boss fight is pretty easy. You're mainly just trying to keep dendro applied. That's like the most difficult thing, is because he keeps kind of going up in the air. So it's like messing with my hydro and dendro application. Oh, darn it. We're going to need to do it one more time. Oh my gosh. Walk around. Do the quick walk around. Oh crap, I don't have Barbara's on. No, I'm throwing. Oh, I should be fine still. Boom. 42k blooms. Not bad though. With Barbara, that's not bad. And then I have a lot of time left. Like, holy. Dude, that's what I'm telling you. Bloom Kirara, you can make any character you want work in this game. As I said, sometimes you might need to drag them across the finish line. Sometimes you need to use, like, I'm using literally Vressa on the other side. Like, I'm using a very strong hyper carry Vressa team on the other half. And I'm using Nilou Bloom on the other half. But hey, I didn't use Lauma. I didn't use Flynn's, the 2 very shield characters. But this is kind of what I mean. And I think it's the same thing that most other people mean as well when they say you can make any character work in Genshin Impact. That is starting to become less true as Genshin Impact has started introducing more and more power creep into the game. But at this current point in time, it's still kind of true. If you put enough investment into any character, you can still make them work. But when people say put enough investment into any character, what they actually mean is the character's team. Like, it's the other characters surrounding that character, not just the one character, right? But I didn't want to get super sweaty or anything. Like, I literally cleared every single floor without having to retry a single time. But if you wanted to, you could probably still 36-star the Abyss with worse characters. It's just, it's going to take you multiple retries probably at that point. So if you wanted, you can give this team a try. Good old Bloomin' Boots. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty good team. But yeah, that is going to be the end of the DPS Kirara video. If you watched the entire thing, thank you so much for watching. It really helps me out. And just remember, you don't have to believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the me that believes in you. And I'll see you in the next video.